Yo, adafana hwe for besama ba kwa bachi chama de ba aye kokoko TV. Sina kokoko TV ya shemo mo se dani de nyina the news update be bra na say key point na say ma ehu hia o ma mu a be to dwa efa ya manyo ani gidi agudie ahinie edwedie die ana say amano ne sempu die ehu be hia say o say ye on update de be bra mo ana so yo news update so kokura ade mamo na ye babo wura na kwakotie nsam no ankasa na ansa na bekum ye be boara nsam no mo mesero sese ne ndedi ka ohwe kokoko TV abomode so subscribe kokoko TV wi like comment ne kwa share no no ebi so enya bihwe e ka se midi amidi so na na wasa o do hye mkroma o midi na maje so na macha wade na me boara nsam de me do kwa ye Ghana na hye bejefi mu na hye bejefi aye ko no ya nyina be kwhia be na nse na ya na hye bejafo ni bi omo afri aye NPP amanyo ko ni na kasa abebi aba bonte abe some trofo inshemu be kasa na sa press conference press release say Ghana mampeni na na ko kufu adom omo mo de na Ghana photo samfo ana sa finance minister o so akwo hwe esika samso ompamo no ana sa photo samfo na kasa entunu ho ade so ni nyina ne say amamu ne ni se na esika samko no o so akwo hwe esika samso na mo de mo enso ani na shebe de voice Ghana photo samfo no dube shene za di bre kuta na se Ghana photo samfo no dube de enso ani and to Ghana man beni onyi ne de na aso no kasa onfo na djuma nto so se na photo kasa me se on resign ya kan resign no na openi on this odogo bi enu abe onya na so resign sanso na Ghana man beni so nya na so odi na djuma fenisem na na asem na copy ya parliament e bra shebe de fi na omo bobo no mo ahwe to ho aba no e vote of census ahwe se bia so o metimi di amre bia chichi no metimi yi na fi no dibre na kita na na enti asa Ghana photo samfo Ken Ofori Atta akopie mrashe bidevi ana mrashe bidavo atutu na no na atutu na no na o mrashe bideni busa na asem to kasa posha obusa no question ana o kire se okay dia ko nyina no ni titiro ye nyina yi se COVID-19 be high na ni titiro de high pa ye Russia and Ukraine ntokwa esi sama ni so na afeti ye man ni ye pa na asem na anye Tamale Central mrashe be the Honorable Haruna Iddrisu anya de denti opeja ni mo obusa ko na Mr. Speaker wadama o achame hini we de wada opeja no se achame hini o mrashe be the vie wadama mesro se mama ko nyana me busa Ghana photo samfo asem baako obiara obusa nze so you okobo bosia e de kobo a Russia Ukraine wana ntokwa na cause of Russia and Ukraine ntemu okobo bosia de kobo a wo mo ana okobo bosia de ko ade kobo ase ntokwa na beja ana de bia bibie ni amose Russia Ukraine wo de bia Russia Ukraine okobo bosia de kobo a ntokwa na Ken Ofori Atta Ghana photo samfo ejina omudi onka abra mo enko tie dia aye Haruna Iddrisu oye Tamale Central na shebe de tu ja na emra Apotoka obusa did you borrow to help Russia-Ukraine war? Sa asemia ade menyemenya de aba Ghana mrashe be jefi mo. Ume yanko ne nkotie de course ye ba be de onso ade nje. Me ka sa aha ekokoko ti midi amedi so ade na ne wasa me da wasa bebre.
Mr. Speaker, I concede that my gallant men and women here are not up to the two-thirds onerous threshold. That is why my colleagues opposite must let their vote count to save this country and for us to goodbye and exit the Honorable Minister for Finance from doing any further harm to the Ghanaian economy. Mr. Speaker, apart from that, inflation. He inherited inflation of 15.4%. Today it's 40.4%. Mr. Speaker, the exchange rate of the cedi, they inherited $1 at 4 Ghana cedis and indicated to all of us that they have the key to arrest the depreciation of the cedi. Today, the cedi is falling and suffering from an epileptic fall. They've lost control of the depreciation. $1 is to 15 Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, and when you come to unemployment, probably it has increased from 5.53% to 13.9%. Mr. Speaker, so what has he to show? We are told that he did well, and that we are told that we should blame COVID and Ukraine. Did you borrow to support Ukraine? Did you borrow to support Ukraine? Did you borrow to support Ukraine? And you want us to accept that your reckless and irresponsible borrowing, which has led us to where we are in a ditch. Mr. Speaker, the Ghanaian economy is in a ditch. Accept it or not, you may have to restructure debt in order to sustain this economy in the next 2-3 years. I heard the President, Mr. Speaker, speak to the nation and say that there will be no haircut. There will be, and there will be a barber of a sort. That barber will be Scampi Dede Barber. It will happen. And it will happen to investment, it will happen to savings, it will happen to bonds that have been issued. Even independent power producers are likely to suffer a restructuring of the debt, because how much you owe is colossal. Mr. Speaker, his incompetence manifestly even in this house when he came and said that we should approve for him a Hydro loan of 600 million US dollars to undertake a number of projects. And Mr. Speaker, he misled this house when he said butter, tomatoes in exchange for pepper. Where is your pepper in exchange of the tomatoes you borrowed? Reality have dawned on them, and therefore Hydro is due for payment, and you must pay. You are not going to be able to pay with the bauxite which is unprocessed, which is still underground. Now you don't know the road or the railway leading to the Hydro, the bauxite site. Mr. Speaker, it is the Honorable Minister of Finance who came here and said that we should do that for him. Initially, he even wanted $2 billion in barter. So barter, my simple economics, is exchange of goods for goods. Where is your goods? In exchange for the 646 million US dollars you got from the Chinese. A mark of the incompetence. Mr. Speaker, the Bank of Ghana, sacred institution, independent institution, they are required. Part of the external credit facility agreement they inherited from the IMF was to allow for some 10% Bank of Ghana financing in times of emergency. But we work towards 0% financing from the Bank of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, the figures available to me, I see that probably even for 2022, the Bank of Ghana probably would have spent some 17.5 billion, about 24%, which exceeds the 10% threshold. That's breach of law. And probably for 2021, about 19% breach of law. But what is even more important, what kind of reserve did you inherit? And what is the state of our reserve? Are we able tomorrow to guarantee that economic and essential social and economic services can be provided for the Ghanaian? Today, Mr. Speaker, I use just petroleum prices. When they were in opposition, they were good at it. They were carrying jerrycans and saying that when they come, we will reduce the prices of petroleum products. Have you reduced it? Have you reduced it? Have you reduced it? And said it was some nuisance tax. Mr. Speaker, they benefited from President Mohamed's ESLA, which has raked in some 6.9 billion. Yet again, smart economics, and that's what is failing them. They have collateralized John Dramani Mohamed's ESLA for the next 10 years. So from today up to 2035, ESLA will be used to be servicing debt. That's what you've done. Yet you said it was a nuisance tax. It's been helpful. At least it's giving you a collateral and a guarantee. Mr. Speaker, so we are on this side. We do not see plausible plans for redemption. When we hear the President speak that by 2028, debt to GDP will be 55%, we do not know where he will be. We do not know what responsibility will be, the weight of responsibility that will be on him to lead us as a country. Mr. Speaker, we are told the President promised God a national cathedral. No problem with it. Ghana is one of the respected societies in the world when it comes to religious tolerance and religious coexistence. Muslims and Christians alike, we respect each other. But when you promise God, honor it, and honor it by a respecting process. If you approve 199 million for the construction of a cathedral without parliamentary approval, is that honor to God? Because you haven't followed proper procedure. God wants you to spend in honor, and the church in honor. You don't want a day for somebody to picket around the cathedral and say that public funds was used and justifiable for it. That itself will not help. Mr. Speaker, we refuse to be lured by the false hopes they are creating. They don't provide any indemnity for investors against political and regulatory risk. We've seen the president rehash some of his own words, that property rate will be introduced. You came here in a budget statement of 2022. You said in January, property rate. So, Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Minister for Finance should know that when he comes to read the budget statement, we take it seriously. Things that you haven't been able to do in 6 years, you want us to trust and believe you that you do it in 2 years. We simply don't trust you, and we simply don't believe you, and we simply want you out. So that, where are the men, Mr. Speaker? Where are the men? You said you had men. Mr. Speaker, where are Mr. Speaker, where are the men? Particularly when I hear the deputy leader who wants to reduce this August House to a court of law. This is not court. This is the Parliament of Ghana. And in the Parliament of Ghana, the Minister of State will be given, and I trust the judgment of Mr. Speaker, to fully defend himself. If he's not able to be here, he has to explain, because Ay3 provides that adequate notice is given. That has been done to him, and he's a Minister of State, Minister of this Republic, answerable and accountable to this Parliament, and he ought to answer to us as a Parliament. Mr. Speaker, now President, and as you held them today, Mr. Speaker, let your vote count. You were the same people in 1999 who, arising out of the Gulf War, when the economy of Ghana got bad, then led by Dr. Konadu Apraku. Mr. Speaker, this is why you were helping them. I have the Hansard for purpose of record. So when I see you want to dance differently to the same tune, then it means that you don't know how to dance. Your tune and dance to the same tune must be the same. Mr. Speaker, I quote, 10th November 1999, Dr. K.K. Apraku, member for Offensive North, said, and I quote, Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that this House, recognizing the serious economic crisis, Speaker, so I borrow his words, and I borrow from Nana Adudankwa Akufo-Addo. We have a major economic crisis. The President accepts it, the Minister accepts it. Mr. Speaker, I'm reading full. He's reading it. That has resulted from the incompetence and mismanagement of the Ghanaian economy by the Minister of Finance, hereby calls on the Minister of Finance to resign. Unquote. We are doing about the same. Except that, Mr. Speaker, we have gone further to give it the weight of the Constitution, due process. That is why we are invoking Article 82. We know we do not have the numbers.